Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim that scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching His word truthfully, faithfully, strongly, and sincerely. And I say shalom to y'all. And the title of this lesson is going to be, the peoples of this world, they should not regard their kings or princes. The people that's rulers of their countries and stuff like that. And I'm going to bring out a scripture for that. And this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? So, that's why we're seeing, uproars of the people around the world with these protests. You start to see that increase more in these last days that we are living in. So, they pushing this agenda saying about the Paul Pierce and the shot, because a lot of people don't want to take that shot. They kind of feel they normal, they kind of feel like they not they kind of feel that they not for them it's not necessary to take that. They want their freedom, because they have forced people to take that Paul Pierce, and the people around the world, kind of feels like they feel like freedom is being taken away from them. Their liberty and their right for not wanting to take those Paul Pierces, And then, like I said in my previous video, it's going to be that division between, against the citizens that took it, and for the citizens that haven't took it, it's going to be a division between those two. And then you're going to have people's, as a whole, majority of the people of those countries and around the world that's doing these protests, they're going to have that sedition among men, They going against their leaders, and their governors and stuff like that, They're gonna protest a lot about that. You're going to start see highly increases of protests like that, because they kind of feel like their freedom and their rights are being taken away from them. They kind of feel like they have the right to not take the Paul Pierce, and not take those shots or whatever, And that's why these leaders of the world, they trying to push this agenda for people to take these Paul Pierces and these shots, and people don't want to, and they don't want that, and they not standing against, and they not for that, They want their freedom and liberties, and the people of this world, the leaders of this world and the governors in those countries feel like, if you're not taking the Paul Pierce, you kind of feel like, you against it, and they create more chaos and create more lives being lost, if you don't take that Paul Pierce. So, in these last days, as the scripture proves it right here in 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 16, it's going to be sedition among men, and they're going to invade one another, with these uproars and people and these protests, going against their governments and everything like that. And they feel the citizens of these countries, they feel like, they pushing that agenda, and they forcing people trying to take them to take the Paul Pierce or the shot or whatever, And a lot of people is going to oppose that, they not going to agree with that. Other half going to agree with it, and the other half is not going to agree with it. It's on both sides, it's a balance. So, that's what these are the times that we are living in. I'm going to bring out the scripture again, for edification's sake. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be addition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall they stand in their power, right? So, you're going to continue to see these uproars of people You know, these protesters, and they fighting for their freedom. You know, and the leaders of their country. And the people that's protesting against these things. They kind of fight. Kind of feel like their freedom is on the line. They feel like they're they kind of feel they not free. They kind of feel like they captives of their own country. They kind of feel like their freedom rights are being taken away from them. As they forcing peoples and pushing this agenda down and shoving down the people's throats and stuff like that. This is how these citizens feel. A lot of them don't feel that way. They with the program and everything, and then the others, they oppose it and they not with it and they not down with it. So, in these last days, expect to see more protesters, more uproars of the people. Sedition among men. The peoples of their countries are going against their kings or princes. The people that's in the power seat, in these political systems. So, a lot of people are not up for this agenda. So, they don't want their freedom to be taken away from them, their rights, as a citizen of these countries and around the globe as well too. So, I hope this is edifying through the spirit of power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Barakakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of great millstone, pushing His word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim that's got to the four corners of the globe, pushing His word truthfully, faithfully, strongly, and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, pushing His word truthfully, faithfully, strongly, and sincerely. Until next time, I will say shalom and the ball.